Hello, good afternoon, Bridging the Nations. I am your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, and I will be rolling solo tonight on BTN. So, where are the hungry tonight? My sisters had prior obligations. Please keep Antoinette Marie in your prayers. Her family going through some tough times right now, and Shamika had a business engagement obligation that she had to cover tonight. And I am so blessed that they feel confident enough in me for me to hold it down while they're not here. So if you would, please share this with a friend. Hey Tracy, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I'm holding it down solo. But I gotta say, between the both of them, I've missed probably a lot more than both of them. So I'll hold it down tonight. I pray I do my sisters justice as I hold down this bridge in the nation. If you all would, please share this. For all the replayers, please give me about 30 seconds to a minute as I share this to all of our social media outlets. And if you all would, please invite somebody, type names down there. And I love seeing who the hungry are. I see Tracy is one of the first names on here this afternoon. I love that, Tracy. Who else is out there? Holler at your boy if you out there. I love seeing who the hungry are. Y'all know one of my favorite phrases. I believe the hungry shall inherit the earth. So if you're out there, say what's up. Your boy's rolling solo tonight. I want to make this a conversation between all of us. I don't want to sit here and talk 45, 50 minutes. I want us to have a conversation where you all get in the chat box and share back as I share these out everywhere. Type names down to invite new people if you would, please. All right, let me share it to my page and then I will be ready to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to. What's up, Kane? From Hawaii, thank you. What's up, Angelique? I see YouTube is starting to pop on here. ATBA Impact Group, YouTube. Thank you for joining us. The eyes are starting to add up, ladies and gentlemen. Say something to your boy out there, because we're going to break some good bread tonight. I'm holding it down on BTN for my sisters. I see where Shamika, she's in a business meeting, but she's already shared it. I appreciate that support, and I'm going to do my best to hold it down for you all tonight. Well, let me tell you how I got to this Bridge of the Nations tonight. I was doing an interview, and it was with a panel of females. I was doing that wanted to lead in corporate America. And I was doing this panel, and I was sitting down and I was having this conversation. And in order to brush up and get ready for that conversation, I remember when Sheryl Sandberg wrote the book Lean In, I saw Oprah Winfrey was talking about it. And I went back to when I watched that, and I went back to my notes, and I went back and kind of just flipped through the book a little bit just to remember it. And as I was having this conversation with these up and coming, rising women of change, I mean, they're going to really change the industry. And when I was having this conversation, just talking about leading, hey, what's up, Tina? Thank you for joining us tonight. It led me to think that this is a great conversation for Bridging the Nation, knowing that I have two international speakers with me and a lot of people out there. And it's just not good information for females, but it's good information for everybody, that we got to lean in. And tonight, for a brief moment, I want to talk about lean in. As I was on that panel, I thought about it. Like, I don't use on my social media platform, I should use more of my corporate background in some of these trainings, because the information is good for whether you're trying to move up in a corporate company, or it's good if you're building your own foundation. Hey, Joy, thank you for joining us. So what I did is I went back to my notes. Thank you, Tina, for typing names in there. Hey, if you all are out there, man, I'm telling you, this is going to be some good bread tonight called Lean In. Type some names down there into somebody that you want to bless this afternoon. Only people you want to bless. Put their name in the box, because I'm rolling solo tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to break bread. When you hear something that you like, I want you to type back in the box what you hear, beneath what I say. I will say something, and I believe God speaks to us in various ways. I may say something, but then you hear something else that God is giving you, or something else that you thought of on your own. It created a new connection in your mind. Put that on there also, because tonight this is going to bless some people, whether you're building your own business or whether you're going up a corporate ladder in a company, or whether you're working on a job right now and you want to be promoted. All of this is good. This is going to be good for all of that. So I was speaking to this panel, and a part of this conversation, I want to allow you all to glean in on this conversation tonight. So tonight we're talking about leaning in. Lean in. And I pulled it from the premise of that book, Lean In, Work and the Will to Lead. Women, Work, and the Will to Lead by Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl is the COO of Facebook, and she wrote this book in 2013. And the part I love about this book, thank you, I appreciate you all putting names in there. That means a lot. And you better tell them to hurry up and get on there, because the motivational teacher to the masses is about to begin to break bread. If you're trying to get your life to the next level, you need to tell them to join us right now. You need to tell them to get on in here. That term, lean in, that Sheryl brought out in 2013 became a movement for women's rights, and it was everywhere, and it still is everywhere, because people were starting to buy into the role that instead, because before then it was thought that in the corporate world that it was, and it still is, dominated by Caucasian males mainly, and men overall. And she was saying that women should lean in into who they are in order to be able to claim some of them roles. Her definition is to lean in means to be assertive, to move toward leading rather than a following role, to move toward leading than a following role. And I said, I want to use this topic tonight is lean in. Ladies and gentlemen, lean in into who you are. You were never created to be the tail. You were never created to have to beg, borrow, and steal. You were never created to barely make it. That's not who you are. And if that is your present condition today, that is not who you are. That may be the condition of where I am today, but that is not your reality, and that is not your truth. And I love that Sheryl talked about lean in, is that the workplace or corporate America or Facebook or these big companies sees women as subservient roles, where I could be the leader of assistants, or I could be the leader of something around that. But as far as a female leaning in to where I could be the COO of Facebook, or I could be the CEO of Google, was not the mindset of women at that time. And I love the fact that Sheryl said, I want to take on this problem. Hey, Mom, thank you, Angelique. I am made for more. You are made for more. And this is your boy on BTN on this Thursday night. And tonight, somebody need to shout, lean in down there. Somebody type lean in. Because by the time I finish tonight, you're going to understand that what I'm talking about leaning into. And this is good for males and females, whether you're working a job or whether you're looking to progress in your own business. Better get on in here. Come on, Joy. You better let them know. Because once I get going, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that this bread that's been broken is good to life. I have been getting so many DMs, and I've been getting so many praise stories about just this information and how it's triggering new thoughts, and people are starting to, I love it, lean in into who God made them and not to what their environment has conditioned them to believe what they are. If you got nothing, I just broke bread. If you got nothing else, I just broke bread. Lean into who God says you are, and lean out of what your environment has said you were. And so Sheryl Sandberg decided to take this on, being more assertive, And you hear people all the time, and I hear it all the time in corporate America. And my mantra, I work for a Fortune 100 company. My mantra, and my people can quote me, and my peers can quote me. I will not allow anyone to make me average. I just broke bread. Even in a corporate America, a Fortune 100 company, I will not allow my boss's boss to make me average. You have to be assertive. You have to know that the great I am works through your I ams to give you solutions to problems that they don't even know exist yet. I just broke bread. You have to be assertive in whatever field that you plan on dominating. You have to be assertive. You have to want to lean in to being the best, whether it be male or female, black or white, Muslim or Christian, no matter what nationality, gender, race, you have to lean in to me being the most productive person with this background. I'm going to break bread up in here tonight. I'm telling you, you better go tell them we got bread pudding coming. We got French toast coming. We got pancakes coming tonight. We gonna hold this down on BTN tonight. I told my sisters, I said, y'all go ahead, do what you have to do because your boy got you tonight. I got you. Thank you, Angelique. You have to be assertive to dominate. I want you to lean in to that version of you. Well, I just gotta cook my little pot, my cruise of oil, make my bread. Me and my son gonna eat my bread, and we gonna go ahead and die. No, that is not your lot in life. That is not your lot in life just to have enough for you and your children. That is not your lot in life. Lean into your abundance. Boy, I'm gonna break. Boy, I'm starting to feel my help. I'm gonna lean in. You gotta lean in to your abundance. Lean in. I love it. She says you have to be assertive. You have to be assertive. Stop playing second fiddle to any. Your ideas are worth being heard. Don't you know your creativity, Angelique, it needs to be presented to the world. You are God's masterpiece created unto good works. Chapter 2 of my book. You are God's masterpiece. If God is moving in the earth, he's moving through you. Lean in that the great I am wants to strengthen my I am. Lean in. Stop being blown to and fro by every wind and wave. You got to lean in into what God has called you to be and what God has given you to do. Well, Anthony, it's just not my time. You have to be assertive. Second thing she said, you have to move toward leading. Move toward leading. And I don't know, y'all talk back to me out there. Tell me, are you building your own personal business? Or are you moving up in a company? Some of you all might be doing both. So I know what area I can flow down because I have a bunch of experience in building my own company, Williams Inspires, and I have a bunch of experience. I work for 5 Fortune 100 companies. I work for 5, and so I had to move and matriculate through those. So thank you, Phaedra. Well, I haven't put it out yet. I'm writing it right now. So if you all kind of write in the text box, like just let me know whether you're matriculating through a company or I'm building my own business so I can know which way I need to lean in this conversation. I'm going to hit them both, but I want to make sure that you all get the most value from this conversation tonight. So let me know which way. Building my own companies and leaving corporate. I hear you, Tracy. I love it. And the great thing is that corporate experience will give you the value to be able to start your own, because a lot of people that start businesses from scratch, Tracy, have never really worked in that industry, so they lack knowledge of what they wanted to do and understanding that being and matriculating through and understanding how business work. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, business is more about your mindset. It's a set of behaviors. Like success is predictable. I'm getting back to lean in. Success is predictable. Success is completely predictable. It's a list. Success is determined by a string of thoughts. I'm telling you right now, listen to your boy. Success is always predictable. Thoughts become actions. actions determine success. I'm telling you right there. And I'm going to lean more into that conversation as we go on. Building my own business. We got to talk. We need to talk, Phaedron. Let's do it. Building my own business and ministry. Yep. I'm establishing myself as a high-priced contemporary artist and art shop owner. Love it. And you're building the Impact Group nonprofit. Joy, building my own business. I love it. All right. I'm building my own company, leaving my job. All right. So I'm going to make more of my conversation. I'm going to tie it to more into building your own legacy and building your own business as we go through this conversation tonight. I said the fortunate thing is I'm currently still doing it both ways because that's just what I'm doing right now. And so they both tie together. So I'm going to lean more toward building your own company in this conversation. Being assertive, whether you own a job, whether you're building your own company, like the world is not going to beat a path to you day one. Day one, you have to be able to understand and know your proposition value statement. What are you willing to offer above and beyond your peers? And you got to lean into that statement. If you are lazy, but I know people talk about leaving a job. If you are a lazy employee, you're going to be a lazy business owner. If you're barely getting by as an employee, it's hard. The seed is within itself. It's very difficult to go from leaning into 60%, giving 60% effort, energy, and value, and then say, okay, I'm going to start my own, and I'm going to go from 60% to 120. That's fictitious. That's not going to happen. You can't lean in because that 60%, whether you're passionate about it or not, is what your body is used to giving. I'm going to break bread tonight. We're talking about established success. The reason why I'm able to do what I do and Williams Inspires is because I don't shortchange what I do in corporate America. If you're not faithful, some of y'all need scriptures. I know this. I'm this BTN. If you're not faithful for what's another man's, then why would God trust you with your own? I'm going to break bread tonight. If you're not assertive in somebody else's business, why would God trust you and think you can become assertive in your own business? I'm going to break bread right now. If you're 40, 50, 60% in and what's another man's, the seed time and harvest, the law of Genesis says that the person you hire in your business or in your job is going to be 40, 50, 60% in. Why? Because that's the seeds that you put out into the universe. That's what you put out in the universe. And if you want the best out of people, as you are transitioning, leaving your job, I challenge you to be the best employee on your job because that mindset will transition over into your business. I'm going to break bread before this night is over. Yeah, Joy, that's right on time. You have to lean into your proposition statement, value statement. If you're lazy on your job, you're going to be lazy for you. There's no way around it. And so Cheryl talked about leaning in to this assertive you. Leaning into that person that's not going to play second fiddle to nobody, not even to my boss's boss. I'm telling you, the great I am strengthens my I am. There's no lack of confidence in this body because God will give us solutions to problems that haven't even shown yet. See, we're struggling because we're not assertive. We're not assertive in the area that we're in because we haven't put in the 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell talks about to be an expert. Confidence and assertiveness comes with the process. If I'm working to transition, this is the mind of the motivational teacher. I'm a people leader in Williams Inspires, but I'm also a people leader for Fortune 100 company. They got resources to train, all that kind of stuff. I'm bringing all that stuff to you tonight. In order to transition mentally from being right now you're working on a job, so you're an individual contributor to whatever you're doing. In order to leave and go from a job setting where you are or it's 5, 6, 10, I don't know how many people work in your department, but it's 15, 50 people. If you work at Walmart, let's say you work at Walmart, it's 100, 120 employees at Walmart at one time that's working together to do a specific job. But when you leave and you become an LLC or you become a sole proprietor, whatever you set your business up as, now you are a sole individual responsible for 100% of of the work. And so you go from being 1/20th of the process or of the profit to all 100% of the profit. And if you're lazy when you 1/20th, you're gonna fail at one when you 100% of the profit. I'm telling you right now, if your goal is to transition, you need to be the best person on your job right now at what you do. Because assertiveness, confidence follows a person that has embraced the process. Motivational teacher to the masses. How can you sit here and speak so strongly with so much confidence? Because I do teaching, coaching, motivating 5,000 hours a year for the last at least 5 years. For the last 5 years at least. Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours to be considered an expert. I've been doing this 5,000 for the last 5 years. Do the math. Do the math. My confidence comes from let me change it this way because I want to use Sheryl Sandberg language. My assertiveness comes from my process of becoming great. When I was just starting being a people leader, or when I was just starting speaking, I had to go listen to Les Brown. I had to steal and take quotes from Les Brown. I had to build them into my talks, or I had to go listen to Tony Robbins, and I had to steal and take quotes and thoughts from Tony Robbins. Hey, what's up, Beniqua? Thank you for joining us. Or I had to go and listen to TD Jakes or whoever and take quotes from TD Jakes when I was starting off 5 years ago. But now, as I've matriculated through the process and working in the process of becoming great, I no longer need TD Jakes quotes. Now I use Williams Inspires quotes. Why? Because it's the process that makes me assertive and able to use these words. Ladies and gentlemen, so I don't care male or female alike. I don't care. Like, it's the process that's going to groom you into the greatness of that you are, so you can be assertive. Whatever your value proposition statement is, you need to lean into it. You need to lean into it. You got to determine day one, what am I going to offer above and beyond all of my peers? If I'm starting a daycare, why is somebody gonna leave Noah's Ark next door to me and bring that kid to my daycare? Or if I'm going to interview to be the COO of Facebook, what experience do I bring for them to want to hire me over the person next to me that's interviewing for the same job? I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, your confidence comes from your grind. Bread broken. Thank you, Vaniqua. Bread broken right there. Your confidence, your assertiveness comes from your grind. You have to move toward leading. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest misconception that I see in every world. In every world. I hear people say that I'm not a born leader. Leaders are never born. Well, let me change that. There's not a such thing as a born leader. We were all born to lead and dominate our domain. When you see someone that's a great leader, it's not because they were born a great leader. It was because they were developed into a great leader. I love, one of my mentors is John Maxwell. And I love John Maxwell talk about when he got his first pastorate in his first church and how bad he failed. And now John Maxwell is known as the leadership guru. He wasn't born a leader. He developed into a leader. And when we tell ourselves, I am not a leader, you are leaning into your environment and you're not leaning into what God created you. I'm breaking bread right now. You're leaning into what people, and especially for females, and no offense, especially for African-American females, especially for you all. Especially for you all, this country, this world, I'm going to use this environment, only wants to make you average. They only want to make you average. They want, I'm trying not to, they only want to make you average and want you to believe that you're only good for rearing kids. You're only good for rearing kids and doing domestic jobs. And I'm going to break bread. I'm your boy. I'm your boy. I'm out here in these streets. I'm out here in these streets when I do Williams Inspires. I'm in these streets when I do this corporate stuff. I'm going to tell you how they see you. I'm going to tell you how they see you. And most often in these corporate world, most often it's Caucasian males and African American females at the bottom of what they have in common with. Most people hire not the person that's best prepared for that position, but the person who they feel most in common with. And that way, I'm telling you, in order for you to get to that next phase of your life, you have to be the number one prepared in order to see that success. People are not going to look at you and say, oh, that's the expert. You're an expert on the authority of that subject. They're not going to look at you and say, oh, this person is an expert. No, you have to prove that. Whereas they will look at someone of another. And that's why I love this book by Cheryl, because she tells the truth. And your boy gonna do the same thing. You gotta lean in that in order for me to get to where other people are, sometimes I'm gonna have to be the best there is. Or my boy Martin Luther King said it like this. He said, you have to be so good that nobody that has passed has do it better than you. Nobody that's living can do it better than you, and nobody that is to come can do it better than you. Your confidence comes from that level of preparation. You have to lean in that I was born to be a leader. You need proof, don't you? Genesis 1:28. God blessed them. God said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion. He was talking to male and female alike. You were never created to be subservient. You were never created just to be a domestic homemaker. You were never created just to be whatever people. Now, I'm not downplaying. If you're a domestic homemaker, I love it. That's what God has placed you. That's the most important role. But I'm telling you that don't just relegate that that's all I am. Or I got to wait till my children leave in order for me to be more than what I am. Or I have to wait until my last kid get out of college before I can go pursue my dreams. You are more than a mama. You are more than a daddy. You are more than just an individual passing through, and I got to sacrifice my life. I'm about to break bread. That I got to lay down everything that God has given me to do so other people can get where they want to go. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a place. I said every motivational Monday. I said every other BTN. Hey, Lori, thank you for joining us. There is a place where you can have money at the end of the month. There's a place where you can have a great marriage, have a great relationship with your kids. There's a place where you can have a great career, but it's going to require you to lean in to I am a leader. I dominate my domain. I'm gonna say it like he said it. I got dominion over the fish of the sea. I got dominion over the fowl of the air and every living thing that moves upon the earth, every living creature. You have dominion over everything but people. You have everything. You have dominion over everything but people. You control your world. Don't want your kids to be, come on, Tracy chiming into this conversation. Amen. You don't want your kids to become adults and you leave home and you're lost and don't even know what to do with your life. You've completely lost who you are. Because I've given, and I see this so much, even in my world, you know, I'm a people manager, and I'm so fortunate that half my team that I lead are females. And I see it so much on my team where the men on my team are very assertive. They know what they want and they go get it. But a lot of times when I call one of my female leaders on my team and I ask her, why don't you go for this promotion? And she start telling me how the timing went right. This kid is here, that kid is there. I'm saying the time will never be perfect. Like you can't sacrifice what God has given you completely to build up everything else. There's a place where you can do it all together, but it gonna cause you to have to lean in to what God calls you and to what God created you, and lean out of what your environment has conditioned for you to believe about you. I'm holding it down. I got you, Antoinette Marie. Go heal, take care of your family. I got this. We gonna break bread tonight, sis. Don't worry about this. Take care of what you need to take care of. And I can't wait till we can all be back together next Thursday. And we leaning in. We leaning in. Oh my goodness, I'm almost 30 minutes in. I ain't got me. So God said to male and female, Homo sapien alike, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. He was talking to Homo sapien, male and female alike. He didn't say, women, you just go have the babies. Men, you just go till the land. No, sir. No, ma'am. I saw Oprah was having a conversation with Michelle Obama at the State Farm Arena, and it was more powerful than any church service. It was more powerful than any Yeezy concert. It was more powerful than any basketball game with the Hawks at State Farm Arena. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, don't discount what God is giving you because you believe the world doesn't see the value in you. You got to lean into what God said about you. He gave you that. He have dominion. Somebody need to put in there, I have dominion. I'm gonna wait for you. Don't worry about it. I got 30 more minutes. It's just me. I have dominion. Stop just thinking that oh man, and my mom is on here, and I love, listen to me. My mom sacrificed so much. What's up, Charles? Thank you for joining us, bro. My mom sacrificed so much for us, for my sisters and I to get out the house. But when we graduated high school and went to college, I love my mom, but my mom was sort of like, I got to refigure out life. And it took her 5 or 6 years to get back to center. Now she's not going to basketball games every night. She ain't doing, and it's okay that we make sacrifices for our kids, but life can't stop because I'm so engulfed in one area. You have dominion. You have dominion. You got to lean in. I dominate my environment. You got to lean in. I'm assertive when it comes to what I believe that God said I can have. I'm assertive. You got to lean into it. You can't, I'm just sitting here waiting on the phone to ring. Oh, I started my business. I'm just sitting here waiting on clients and sitting here waiting on customers. Oh, I'm the motivational teacher to the masses. The masses gonna come find me. No, sir. I got to go get on what's up, YouTube? I got to go get on Periscope. I got to go get on Facebook. I got to go get on LinkedIn. And I'm on all these platforms. Why? Because I ain't just sitting back waiting on the masses to find me. See, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, I'm going to break bread. I'm going to break bread. No matter what story you look at in my favorite book, the Bible, the individual always has something for God to work with. When God found Peter, Peter was fishing. God used that platform to make Peter into a fish. Peter was the best. I don't know. Some of y'all might know this. Peter was the best fisherman in that whole city. He was the number 1 fisherman in that whole city. Why would God ever go to the number 5 fisherman and say, hey, I want the number 5 guy and I want to make you fishers of men? He would never go to the number 5 guy and say, I want to make you. Peter was the best fisherman. Peter had given his life to fishing. And God went to the number 1 fisherman in the city and said, hey, man, you know what you're doing. Let me take what you're doing and I want to make you a. If Peter was sitting over there in that boat sleep, or when he found Peter, Peter had his net out on the other side of the boat. I'm telling you right now, when God comes speak to you, when that gift and that vision arises from your gut, it's coming from a place of that I'm the number 1 fisherman here. I'm the number 1 fisherman here. If God's gonna use somebody in this environment, he gotta use me. He gotta use me. He can't use the number 3, number 4, because I have put the time in developing my fishing gifts. I put my time. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, that story is so powerful because Peter was the number 1 fisherman in his city, and Jesus came and said, cast your net. And that's why Peter gave him a little grief. I've been fishing all day, man. I'm the number 1 fisherman in my city. And he told Peter to take it and put it on the other side. And Peter kind of didn't do it right away because Peter like, dude, I've been doing this. I'm the man when it comes to fishing. I'm the man when it comes to fishing. There's no better fisherman in my city. I'm the top authority when it comes to fishing. I'm breaking bread right now because he had put so much time and effort into it. And so, and when Peter took it and put it on the other side, the catch was great. Jesus bought leverage when Peter did that. He said, Peter, come here, man. I got more stuff I want to do for you. I'm going to take what you do and I want to make you fishers of men. God's going to only use, boy, I'm about to break bread. I am about to break bread. Even when you're transitioning from your own from a corporate job or from a job to your own business, God is only going to use your output that you've given him to work with. He's not going to outperform what you're willing to give. The reason why Peter's net was so great of a catch is because Peter was already catching a lot of fish at the moment. I'm breaking bread right now. If you're 40% in where you are, I got to move, y'all. If you're 40% in with where you are now, he can't use you. And why would he make you a fisherman and your output is 60% less than the next person he can use? Come on, Lori. I'm going to get there tonight. I got to hold it down for my sisters right now. Shamika, you go make your cheese. Antoinette Marie, my condolences to you and your family. But I'm going to hold it down for y'all tonight. Your boy got you. I got you. Why would he use somebody who's giving less output? Because when you give less output, it is equal minimum results. He knew he only had, I got 3 years to change this world, to turn this world upside down. I need somebody with maximum, and you're going to love this, Angelique, you're going to love this, Beniqua, maximum enthusiasm about what they're doing, and I can take what they're doing, and I can create what I want them to do. Boy, I can run out this room right now. I can run out this room right now because there's somebody out there right now. See, you thought you were on the cusp of getting there. I'm telling you, until you increase your output, you can't get maximum results. Until you're willing to lay it all down, you can't get there, man. You got to make the decision that I'm going to be, write this word down. I'm going to be the authority. I'm going to be the authority in my area. Bread broken. Thank you. I'm going to be the authority. And so when Sheryl Sandberg, CEO of Facebook, wrote this book, Lean In, she was saying, this is what she was saying, but I think it's good for all of us. I ain't gonna lie. Men, women, females, I don't care. This book is good for everybody. So when she was saying that we have to be more, I say we, God, in my mind, she was talking to me too. We have to be more assertive. We have to move toward a leading role rather than a following role. We have to move more toward a leading role rather than a following role. Now, I'm not saying that you're not a follower. I'm going to say this. You can only walk in what you're willing to walk under. You know what I'm saying? You can only walk in what you're willing to walk under. The greatest among you must be a servant. I'm breaking bread right now. And see, that's why my boy said, Peter said, Paul said, I became of no reputation so that I might win a man to Christ. You got to become of no reputation. I'm willing to give more than I'm paid for. I am willing to give more than what I'm paid for. I had a speaking engagement. It was, this was during when was it? It was like in August. I did a speaking engagement. And it was like 400 people. The auditorium hold 1,000 people, so it was nice, social distance, all that stuff. And I went in and I did the speaking engagement, killed it. And then the lady wanted to bring me back for a leadership, and it was like a Zoom call, 20 minutes, and she was asking me what I charge. And I told her, for you, I'm not going to charge you anything. I'm not going to charge you anything for the Zoom call because, and I said it just like that, it's always my desire to provide more value than what I'm paid for. I'm breaking bread right now. The moment when you become more involved or more committed to your value proposition more than you are the dollars and cents, it's the moment where you multiply yourself. And this lady, I did the Zoom call for, it was like from 9. It was supposed to be from 9 to 9:15. I ended up staying on it like 9:35. Sent her thank you, didn't charge her one dime. And it was her leadership team. I did it. I killed it. And that lady has now given me 2 more speaking engagement, 2 more speaking, like big groups speaking engagement, and given me referrals to other ones. Why? Because the value that I provided was greater than what she paid for. I am always willing. You have to be always become of no reputation. Become of no rep. Serve your gift. I want to be a leader. Tina, I'm gonna already tell you, you are a leader. You were born, you were created from leadership. You were chip off the old block. You were created from leadership. Peter was already a leader when Jesus started using him. You're already a leader, but now it's time to like Grant Cardone would say, it's time to 10x it. It's time to 10x it. Whatever we're doing, it's time to doggone 10x it. So let me get to this. Boy, I'm rolling. I'm rolling. Boy, I done worked up a sweat. I'm so excited right now. I can run out this doggone room. If y'all want to sit here in front of me right now, I'll be running. Because I know the fruit that's going to come from this conversation. So lean in. I want to talk about 5 quotes from Lean In that I think of. The book is life changing. The book is life changing. But I know a lot of you, we ain't got time to go reread the whole book now. I want to give you 5 quotes that I want to expound on that Sheryl Sandberg kind of brings up in her book. And I'm going to do my Wisdom Inspired twist to what she wrote. They're her quotes, but this is my conversation in my mind from a people leader where I lead men, I lead women, I lead African American, I lead Caucasians, I lead Christians, I lead non-Christians, all of that. So when I have this conversation with you all in front of this computer, just know that I'm bringing all of those experiences to her quote. So my first quote, she said, is, the strongest relationships spring out of real and often earned connection felt by both sides. Let me break bread. Hey, what's up, Laura? Thank you for joining us tonight. So she said, the strongest relationships spring out of a real and often earned connection felt by both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest capital, I know people think that the American gross national product, GDP, gross domestic product, the GDP, the stock market, NASDAQ, most people think like that determines America. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important capital in this world is human capital. It's human capital. This world moves at the speed of your relationships. I'm breaking bread right now. There's no way you're going to be a lone ranger and do anything great for God. I'm going to break bread. When Peter was on his boat, Peter had a group of people helping him fish. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to do anything great, you have to become great at building and sustaining relationships that are mutually beneficial between you and other people. And I'm telling you, and I'm so transparent. And for me, in the corporate world, I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn. I thought that my work and my 10,000 hours alone was going to be good enough to get me everything that I wanted. I was wrong. It's the fact that I have to know, and people have to see the value in more than my work. They have to see the value in Anthony and not the results that spring from Anthony. I thought the results were enough to get me to where I wanted to go, but people want to see the value that Anthony brought to their team or what Anthony adds to this organization. And even in your business, if your goal is to build your business to a point where you're self-sustaining and build your business to a place where it takes care of your children, you have to build that vision big enough where it has to include more people. I just broke bread. Connections. I thank you, Laura. You have to build that business. You have to build those relations. I'm telling you right now, it should be 2,000 eyes watching me tonight because this stuff right here is going to prove to be valuable. You're never going to do anything great with one person. The greatest capital on this earth is human capital. God hid potential. Potential is cataclysmic when a person fall in love with what God made them. And if you're going to do anything great for the kingdom, if you're going to do anything great for your children, you got to include people. You got to start building real relationships, and where there are connections. There's give and take. I have a circle, and they started these lean in circles from this. And I love the fact that when they started, they started lean in circles, and it was almost 4,000 or 5,000 lean in circles by the end of 2013, where 8 to 12 people were getting together and they was discussing ideas, or called it a mastermind group. Same idea, same concept, where people were discussing ideas and they were figuring out how to take and how they help make each other great. Got to be careful because you want people that are like-minded, that are growth people. And that's what I love about this community. That the names that I see right here, these are people that are looking to improve and grow. So find like-minded individuals, or my favorite book, the Bible says, equally yoked individuals, and begin to earn that connection. You have to earn that connection. The reason why your boss doesn't like you is not necessarily because who you are. It could because you haven't built that connection. Well, and my work should speak for itself. Your work does speak for itself, and that's why you're employed. But your work is not going to speak enough for you to be promoted. They want to know that you are a team player. You're someone that I can count on when things get tough. I want to know who you are, because there's going to come a period of time where organization might go through structure changes. I want to know that you can lead through change. Oh God, every time it's the devil. It's not the devil. It's you got to expand your mindset to make your tent big enough to where other people can come in. I just broke bread. I just broke bread. It's not the devil. You got to expand it. When I'm gonna go back to the example. When Jesus found Peter, Peter had a bunch of folk on his boat already fishing. And he was like, man, this dude must already know how to build a team and to assemble a team to navigate to tumultuous waters in order to be. And I'm telling you right now, it's the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. We have to be, I love that, bridge builders. We have to be bridge builders. If you're the person that nobody can get along with, I'm telling you right now, you might well stop lying to yourself. Well, every time I get around other women just hate on me. Other women don't like me. Other people, blah, blah, blah. They ain't the problem. It might be you. I'm going to break bread. I love you too much not to tell you the truth. It might not be them. It might be you. Well, every time I start doing something, it might not be them. It might be you. You got to build your tent bigger where it can include other people. That's quote number one. Quote number two is what I love. And I'm telling you, lean in. And this is good for males, females. It's good for black, white. It's good for anybody. Number two is, she says she recommends adopting two concurrent goals: a long-term dream and an 18-month plan. A long-term dream and an 18-month plan. And see, it's too many of us that we're believing the pie in the sky. I'm believing I am the motivational teacher to the masses. But the question is, Anthony, what behaviors have you adopted that qualifies you to be the motivational teacher to the masses? Like, what have you done the last 6 months that says, God, I'm working on me. I'm working on improving my process so you can expand my territory. If you can't manage 12 followers, Anthony, if you can't manage 12 relationships, why would I give you 112 times 12, 144 relationships? Your tent cannot be expanded. You have to adopt two concurrent goals. What am I doing now, and what am I building toward? And this I'm telling you, this stuff is good for life. This is stuff that can move you up a corporate ladder, and this is stuff that can help you build your own business. In 6 months, where are you going to be better? In 6 months, where will you have improved? Because either you're green or growing, or you're dying. If you're not green and growing, then you're dying. And see, and this is my problem with Christians. I'm telling you right now, my problem with Christians is we believe that God is supposed to do it all. Oh God, oh Father from heaven, bring down fire. Oh Father from heaven, my car broke down. I need you to help fix my car. Oh God, my kid needs shoes. I need for you to have some shoes. I need help me get shoes. Oh God, my light's about to be turned off. I need you to help me. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have a light problem. You got a you problem. You got to learn how to manage your money. You got to learn how to manage your assets. You got to have a short-term goal that equals a long-term goal. I remember when my wife and I, we were broke as a joke. We were broke as a joke. We spent everything we had and plus went into debt for a wedding. And we had no money. I got laid off. I got laid off about less than a year after we were married, and she was about 8 months pregnant. We got laid off. We had to move to a different city in order for me to take another job. We had no money. So we decided at that moment that we had to adopt the Dave Ramsey system of managing our money. We had grocery money and envelopes. And then when that money ran out at the end of the week, if it ran out on Friday and it was supposed to last through Sunday, it's beans and rice and beans. It's Vienna sausages. It's nothing but a big pack of chicken that's in the freezer that's been there a month that we hadn't used. Take it out, throw it out, let's figure it out. And we had to make those sacrifices in the short term so that we can get to where we are now, where we have more money at the end of the month, where there's not a problem that we can't, if something arises, there's not a problem that we can't take care of. But it took us having a short term in order to get to the place where we have long term. I talked about it on Tuesday. I went on Tuesday night. I talked about it. The 42-year-old, the 62-year-old version of Anthony is dependent on the 42-year-old version of Anthony to take care of business. And likewise with you, you have to have where am I going to be in 12 to 18 months? And where I'm going to be is not a fictitious place. It's based on a set of behaviors. Success is predictable. I said it earlier. It's based on a set of behaviors that I've developed over a course of time that's landed me where I am in this seat today. All right. So what new behaviors, what new thoughts am I going to adopt to move me from the seat I am today to be in a better place 12 months from now? Build, baby, build. I talked about it the other night, Vaniqua. You were on there. You were on there. Build, baby, build. What behaviors? What do I need to take away? What do I need to take away right now from my life? What do I need to add right now? So this is just an example. If I want to be a corporate vice president, and right now I'm a middle leader, and I want to go here, what behaviors do I need to improve upon to right now I have this sphere of 70 people that I lead. If I want to lead 700, I have to have more improved behaviors. Right now, my capacity to lead is only 70. I got to build it to where I can lead 7,000. And I'm telling you, that's just you working on you. That's you having a short-term version of vision of where I want to be long-term. And I got to sacrifice what I want right now for what I want eventually. I just broke bread, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get to the next level of life? You got to start looking at what behaviors are holding you back. And then you got to look and see what behaviors do I have that I can build on. And if you start being honest with yourself and start telling yourself what those behaviors are, and you start working on those behaviors, you have to be brutally honest with yourself to know, all right, I got a bad attitude. When stress comes, my attitude go bad. You got to be in a position where you can say, I can't allow myself to go negative. I got to create some new thoughts so I can change what I think right now. And I got to start changing that stuff. Well, when somebody say something about me, man, it send me over the top. When somebody say something negative about me, I feel like I got to pop off and I got to get my say in. You got to change that. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Why do you not trust that God can manage your enemies or people that don't like you? You don't have to go chase down every lie. You don't have to go chase down every story. You don't have the energy. You're building. We talked about it. See, I know the problem. Some of y'all not consistent enough. We talked about it the other night. Build, baby, build. Some of y'all ain't consistent enough. We talked about the other night, build. In the building phase, I don't have time to be running around chasing every dog that barks because right now I'm building. I need my energy to be focused on where I'm going. What am I building? I don't have time to take my energy off building in order to come down off my mountain to check somebody at the base. I don't have time to come. I can't, man, especially when you like me, you get messages of people telling you that I'm not sensitive enough because people got stuff going on and I need to be more sensitive when it comes to that stuff. Listen, I say thank you and I appreciate your comment and thank you for taking the time to write me. I don't have to defend me. Vengeance is mine. I have become of no reputation so that I can win one or two. And the more I do that, the bigger my tent becomes. I just broke bread for some of you all. Number 3, and I'll be honest, just Sheryl Sandberg's book, I do believe, and from my leadership experience, I'm gonna break bread. I do believe number 3, it is more centrally focused toward females when she was writing this book. This is one I do believe that's more centric to females. Self-doubt becomes a form of self-defense. We put ourselves down before others do. And I think that really is, you look at a bunch of men think more highly than themselves than they should. They most times they're not as qualified as some of the females, but because they think they are, they talk where I should be and necessarily not where I am. And actually more the females talk below where they are. Well, I don't know if I can do it. That job comes with this sacrifice, and that job comes with this commitment. And I don't know right now at this phase of my life with my husband, with my kids, if I can make it. And then you got a married male who's not as qualified as the female, but would go in there and say, yep, this job is right for me. I've been training my career for this job. I've been putting in the time training for this job. And this male got a spouse at home too and got the same 3 kids that the female has. But how he talks about the position makes him seem more qualified for the position, but the female is better for the role. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this so many times in corporate America. I've seen it so many times. And that self-doubt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of your career or of your future. That self-doubt now becomes a form of self-defense. And you say, well, Aunt, if they say, if I go in and I'm too assertive, they're going to say I'm being, when men say things, they take it for face value. When they said, I'm just being mean or it must be her time of the month. You know what I say to that stuff? So what? So what? So what? Let me tell you what I do know. God holds the king's heart in his hand like putty. He holds the king's heart in his hands like putty. Be unapologetic. Be unapologetic because I'm more prepared than the person next to me. Man, boy, do not apologize. Do not talk down. Do not believe that do not allow your rising tide to be sunken because you want somebody else to feel better about them. No, you have put the time. I tell my son this, and I know I don't care who out here listening. I tell my son this. I said, son, how many hours have you put in that basketball gym? A lot. I say, if the person that's supposed to be guarding you hasn't put the time in, then it's your job. It's your job to make that person look like they haven't put the time in. Why? Because they'll never know that they haven't put the time in unless you give them the work. And I'm telling you the same thing. Never dim your light so other people feel better about who they are. And I'm not saying make people feel bad about where they are, but don't dim your light because of you want them. If they haven't put the time in, that's on them. They had the same 168 hours in the week you did. They should have been putting their time in. They should have been working on their craft. Listen, I don't have the followers that a lot of national motivational speakers have. I'm going to break bread. I don't have the followers that they have, and I love the fact that they have them. But at the end of the day, what I say is just as or more powerful than what some of the national speakers are saying. I listen to them all. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. I'm not going to, because I don't have the eyes they have, I'm not going to speak ill about what I'm doing. The words that come out of my life are the words that come out of my mouth are life. And I'm not going to downplay the words coming out of my mouth because I don't have the following of somebody else. I just broke bread. And a lot of times, especially females, I'm telling you, especially I see it all the time in corporate America. I say, see, I'm going to tell you like this. See, most of you all are more qualified for the role, but you believe, but a lot of females believe that they have to be in the role before they can show that they're qualified. I'm telling you, you got to show that you're more qualified before you get the role. Come on, man. Come on, man. We put ourselves down before others do. I got people chiming in this conversation, y'all. We're gonna go 5-10 minutes into overtime, but I'm gonna make it worth the time. Believe that. Don't make another person more worthy than you do yourself. Especially, Joy, when you put the work in. When the great I am is strengthening your I am, you make you look bad and you make him look bad. When you put the time in, I just don't want to seem like I'm that lady that think I know everything. I just don't want to seem like I'm that person that got all the answers. No, I ain't telling you that I ain't telling you to be that person. But if you got the answer, raise your hand. You sure? Raise your hand. Don't keep downplaying yourselves. We put ourselves down before others can. And I believe that's so true. We'll tell you 9 ways why I can't before I give you one reason why I can. I had this conversation with a person on my team this week. I started telling you that story earlier. She gave me every reason as to why she shouldn't take that promotion. And I said, give me one reason why you can. Give me one reason why you can. You have to understand, know your worth. You have to understand, know your worth. And stop putting yourself down. You put the time in, Angelique. You put the time in, Vanika, Joy, Tina. You put the time in. So so the Bible tells us that it's seed time and harvest. So you've done this, that you put the seed in the ground, you've been fertilizing the seed. Now it's time for you to get your harvest, and you talk like you ain't got seed in the ground. You've been working in this area the last 3 years, last 4 years. You've been dreaming and you've been thinking about this business. You've been writing the vision. You've been making it plain. Now it's time to go get the harvest. You want to pretend like you ain't put the seed in the ground? That's backwards. That's backwards. And a lot of you all are more prepared than the average person that starts that business. More you all are more prepared than the average person that's doing what you want to do. You're probably, I know the people looking at me, you're probably already more prepared than the average person that's doing what you want to do. But it's harvest time. I told my son, basketball games, it's harvest time. You work 365 days on basketball in some capacity. You play 31 games. In 31 games, you need to dominate because you're working the other 300 days. Other kids are playing PlayStation. They sleep. They eating whatever they want. They're not taking care of their body. It's harvest time, baby. And I'm telling you like that. You're putting the personal development in. You're learning about your industry. You're learning about the craft. It's harvest time. It's time to get in the game. It does no good to continue to learn and to continue to develop if you don't use the knowledge. That's why I love this. The Bible says, not only become hearers, but become what? Doers of the word also. I'm breaking bread right now, y'all. Self-doubt becomes a form of self-defense. We put ourselves down before others do. Number 4, and I love this one. And I'm going to break bread on this just real quick. Yeah, bread broken. I love that. Conditions for all women will improve when there are more women in leadership roles giving strong and a powerful voice to their needs and their concerns. I'm about to break bread. Conditions for all women will improve. And I want to take this conversation and expound that beyond just all women. I'm going to say this. Conditions for your family will improve when you move into a leadership role in your family. Conditions for your household. And I mean, conditions for your children's children. Conditions for your job, or conditions for your sisters who struggle. Their conditions will improve when you take your leadership role. I'm the Abraham of my family. I make that confession. I am the Abraham of my family. If my family have big needs, they need to hit me up. I'm the Abraham. I make that confession. Am I the oldest? The answer is no. Am I the smartest? The answer is no. Do I have the most money? The answer is no. But if you're looking for answers, you better contact me because I got a direct line to the great I am. Your family and your lineage changes when you take the leadership role. If you can listen to me for an hour and 3 minutes, you should be in the leadership role in your family because you got the information. I told you the gap is always information. You got the information needed to change that generation, that family for generations to come. You got to take a leadership role. Well, just in my family, I'm the youngest, and they listen to my sister before they do me, and they listen to my brother before they do me, and they listen to that person before they do me. You know why? Because you believe they do, and you got a follower's mindset, and you haven't assumed your leadership role. You're converting to what your environment believes about you versus what your God believes about you. Well, I don't know if that's my place with me being. I don't care how old you are. My folk out there, they listen to me. I'm gonna give my opinion whether you like it or not. You ain't gotta listen to it, but I'm gonna give it. Like, take a leadership role. Well, I just don't know if I should. Why? If not you, then who? If not you, then who? Well, my siblings, my family is in turmoil right now. Everything's given as a fight. Take the leadership role. Take the leadership role. All conditions will improve for any group once you take the leadership role. The gap that's in your family right now is you taking the leadership role. Well, my kids just ain't making the right decisions. Every time me and my daughter get together, me and my daughter fighting, or every time me and my son get together, it's an argument. It's because you haven't taken the leadership role. Success rises and falls on the leader. I am the leader. Take the leadership role. I know we're doing the tango, and well, it's time for you to lead. The man's supposed to lead. If the man ain't leading, it's time for you to lead. And then when it's time, whatever, he'll lead. But right now, there is no leadership. It's time for you to take the lead. Conditions will change. Well, my boss always stays on. Even with your boss, you're supposed to lead leaders. Like I always said, I not only lead down, I lead across, and I lead up. Why? Because I dominate my door. I make everybody around me better. I add value to my boss. I add value to my boss's boss. I add value to my peers that are lateral, and I add value to the people that work for me. Why? Because I own my domain. If God, listen, I always see myself as a seed. If God has planted me here for a season such as this, then there must be a harvest that people need to realize their human capital. I help people realize their human capital. You have to lead up and to lead. You're right. You got to lead up. You got to lead down. You got to lead across. You lead. And conditions will change. Conditions will change, Tina. Conditions will change once you get into your leadership position. Well, right now, it's funny, man, because like you look at our country right now, that's terrible leadership. You look at our country right now, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, I don't care what you are, there are no leaders. And we can't come together in the world, and this country is so polarized. Why? Because it's lack of leadership. My community is polarized. My community has no leadership. Why? It's lack of leadership. But it's going to take you to lead in order to get to where it needs to be. Oh, I'm so far over. And number 5, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wind this thing down. She asked this to ladies. And she was speaking to ladies in the corporate world. And and these ladies in the corporate world had desires to be more, but didn't necessarily believe that the environment was right. And she said, you think about this. She said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you write on a sheet of paper? What would your goals be if you were not afraid? What would you want to do if you had no self-imposed limitations? What was it you want to do when you were 6 or 7 before the world told you made a C on an exam at school in the 7th grade and the world told you were average? What did you want to do before, or they told you weren't fit for college, so you decided I'm not going to college? What did you want to do before you had communication with this environment? Before you had an interaction with this environment? What is it that you wanted? What if I told you right now that you cannot fail? That's what she told them. Lean in, back to it. Lean into what you're afraid of. Lean into that thing that irks you. And at night when I'm laying down, boy, if I could just settle that uneasiness in your gut. Lean into that uneasiness in your gut. Why is it that you believe you're going to get cancer? Why is it that you believe that you're going to have diabetes? My mom died. My mom had a heart attack. My dad had a heart attack. Well, I'm going to have a heart attack and die. Why is it? Lean into what you feel. Because until you deal with that little, Job said, the thing that I feared has come upon me. The only way to keep that thing that you're fearing from coming upon you is to lean into it. Why? Because I got to get off this thing. The only limitation that's on your life is that voice that speaks to you in your gut. And I'm going to say this right here. A man doesn't know his own heart. A man knows his own heart. It speaks through his gut. It speaks through his thoughts. Why is it that you having those thoughts of, I can't make it? Lean into it. You need to get a sheet of paper and write down why you believe you can't make it. I'm breaking bread right now. You need to get a sheet of paper and write down why you believe you can't run that business. Why you believe you can't run that Fortune 100 company. Why you believe that you can't be the authority on art. Why you can't believe you can't be the creative job. Why is it that you need to write that, and you need to lean into what you get from your gut. And then you got to devise a plan to start building behaviors that overcomes that emotion or that thought or that feeling. And truth be told, that thought, that emotion, that feeling is probably something that came that somebody spoke over our life when we were a little kid. And we've been living, I'm a 42-year-old grown man, but living out of the 10-year-old mindset where I grew up with a poverty mindset. Or my uncle told me I wasn't going to be good enough. Or my mom told me I'm going to be just like her. Or somebody spoke some negative over our life and that seed is taking root. We got to lean into it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to lean into the reason why you can't. You got to lean into to your own thoughts and write it down and take that thought captive and begin to put different thoughts out there that's aligned with what God said, that's in harmony with what God said about you and what he wants you to do, and not what your environment has conditioned you to believe about you. I just broke bread. Lean in. Lean in. Lean in. Until you lean in to who you are, until you have the confidence to know that I'm more than a conqueror. I am more than that. The great I am awakens my I am. Until you're in a position where you lean into that thought process, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot. The reason why there were only 2 people that went into the promised land was because other people didn't lean into where we were going. They fell in love with where they came from. You got to lean into it so you can get beyond where you thought you could go. As long you will always circle that mountain until you have these words. We are more than capable of storming the city. Until you have these words about you, I'm more than capable of running this company. And I don't care what feeling come in my gut, I know I can build the behaviors in order to do it. Lean in. You are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. You are the apple of God's eye. The great I am strengthens your I am. Lean in to who you are and to what you've been created. I just broke bread on BTN. Ladies and gentlemen, you all have been phenomenal. And this is officially the longest live I have ever done in the history of doing lives in 5 years. This is the longest one. And it had to come on a Bridging the Nations night. I miss my sisters. I had to hold it down. I know they would want me to be thorough in this bread breaking, so I had to lay it down. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for hanging in here with me. Go back and listen to this 5 and 6 and 7 times until you begin to lean in into what God called you to be and not lean into what your environment has said about you. Lean into your greatness. Like Les Brown would say, there's greatness in you. There's greatness in you. Lean into that version of who you are, because that version of who you are is where your wealthy place is. Everything that you want is in that version of who you are. Man, it's been a pleasure breaking bread with you all. And if you all would, please let my sisters know how much y'all missed it tonight. Shoot Antoinette Marie, shoot Lady Queen I Am a message. Just let them know we missed them and we can't wait until they get back on next Thursday when we have the whole family here. You all have been amazing tonight. Thank you all for hanging in here with me. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. I'm out.